You wake up when your body is ready. No alarm, no schedule, no place you need to be. You sit up, stretch, and ask yourself one question. What should I do today? For 99% of human history, this wasn't a hypothetical. This was every single morning for roughly 300,000 years. And the answer to that question looked nothing like the life you're living right now. Modern humans spend about 90,000 hours of their lives working. That's roughly 1/3 of your waking existence dedicated to a job. But for the overwhelming majority of human history, jobs didn't exist. There was no employment, no wages, no boss, no career ladder. In 1963, archaeologist Richard Lee conducted a study. He tracked the Yuhuanzi people in Botswana, living in a way that resembles pre-agricultural life. He found that adults spent about 2.5 days per week acquiring food. That's roughly 17 hours. The rest of the time, they did whatever they wanted. This pattern shows up everywhere. The Hadza in Tanzania, the Ashe in Paraguay, the Matu in Australia. Same result, 15 to 20 hours per week. Now you're thinking, how do we know ancient humans lived the same way? The answer comes from bones. Farmers were shorter. Their bones show nutritional deficiency. Their teeth were riddled with cavities. They had arthritis from repetitive labor. Ancient human skeletons, taller, stronger, healthier teeth. Their bones tell a clear story. They were doing less repetitive physical labor, not more. The most fascinating evidence comes from something that shouldn't exist if survival was a constant struggle. Art. In 1994, explorers found Chauvet Cave. Inside were paintings created 30,000 years ago, sophisticated art that required skill, planning, and most importantly, time. In Blombos Cave, archaeologists found 100,000-year-old shell beads. Someone walked 40 kilometers round trip just to collect shells and drill holes for jewelry. In 2008, researchers found a 40,000-year-old flute carved from vulture bone. Whoever made this understood music and pitch. They spent time crafting it. Let's reconstruct a day. You wake up around dawn. Breakfast is social. People talk. They plan loosely for the day. Around mid-morning, a small group might leave to hunt, but you don't go every day. If food is stored, you might not leave camp at all. You might spend the morning working on tools, sharpening a spear or weaving a basket. This isn't work in the modern sense. There's no clock. Humans are persistence hunters. We track animals for hours until they collapse. We're the only species that can sweat and regulate temperature while running. The hunt might take 3 to 6 hours. Then the animal is butchered. Everyone eats. By early afternoon, the productive part of the day is over. What happens next? People rest. They sit in the shade and talk. They groom each other, reinforcing bonds. They nap. Adults spend roughly 6 hours per day in social time, talking, laughing, telling jokes. Your survival depends entirely on your relationships. At night around the fire, 81% of conversations shifted to stories, myths about the world, tales of ancestors, adventures from far away. Humans used to sleep in 2 phases. First sleep for 4 hours, then a wakeful period of 1 to 2 hours, then second sleep for 4 hours. Then, about 10,000 years ago, something changed. Humans began planting seeds and domesticating animals. Agriculture. And agriculture is a trap. Once you start farming, you can feed more people. More people means more farming. You were locked in. Farming required far more labor. With larger populations came specialists, tool makers, soldiers, priests, and eventually jobs. The idea that your time belonged to someone else. Today, you spend 90,000 hours working. Your ancestors spent way less. We traded freedom for food security, leisure for productivity. They didn't need to become successful. They were already living the life you're working your entire existence to retire into.